Hello, so you're welcome to a clear and practical tutorial with hands-on implementation on building a RAG system, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. So we are going to be using LangFlow. LangFlow is an open source low-code platform for building and deploying AI applications. Now it makes it so easy because it's just a drag and drop interface. Large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot are powerful systems that can understand, generate, and process human-like text. However, these systems can sometimes hallucinate. They sometimes struggle with the challenge of being inaccurate, giving outdated answers, not being specific in context. For example, I asked three widely used large models simple question about an organization. The computerized access will be having an event. When is the date? Because they are not up to date, they don't have the file. The answers that they gave to me were contrary to what was close to the supposed answer. They don't have information about this, and so they cannot deliver. And you see, that is a challenge that needs fixing. Well, the solution is RAG, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. This is a framework that connects an LLM to an external updated knowledge base. Now, this allows the model to deliver answers that are more accurate, context-rich, real information, and trustworthy to users, so it doesn't hallucinate, it doesn't lie. For us, we're going to be using LangFlow to actually build, because LangFlow makes work flow. Oh yes, it makes work easy for us. Drag and drop.
So before we move into building the system, the RAG system, I want you to see an example of what every other large language model can do. So this is a typical example. And how did I get here? If you come to the RAG, to the LangFlow workspace, if you click on new flow, you see these options for very easy start out. So you can use the basic prompting, and I chose the basic prompting, and then it brought me here, the basic prompting. So I'll open it like so. If you open it, you are actually supposed to see this part showing an open AI where you need to include your open AI. But for me, I currently don't have an open AI API because I had not renewed. So I'm using a free LLM, which is Grok, and then you can easily go to Grok, their website, go to Grok, and then create a new account, get a free API that you can use, like myself here. So for this is a basic thing, a basic large language model. What happens basically, you have an input, and my input here is saying when is computerized access group event happening. So let me do that, happening like so. Okay, I need to correct that. When is it happening? So, and then it takes in that prompt. This prompt goes into the LLM, and then it gives an output. All right, so let's go to the playground and let me show you some examples that I have already tried to. I say, when is the computerized access meeting happening? Now mind you, it doesn't know anything about computerized access because it's an external file, and that's one of the things I told you. It cannot be accurate when it comes to external file, things that have not been kept in it or have not been used to train the LLM. It can't talk about it. In fact, it was truthful, and it said, I am not aware of any specific information called computerized access group. So it doesn't have any idea of what I'm talking about. All right, So, and this is what my data looks like. I have computerized access group, I have the summit for 2025, I have the date and the location, the time by each date, what the event is about. I have key activities. This is just something I created using ChatGPT. And then called for volunteer. I have the organizers of the event, why people must attend, and then just conclusion. So basically just 3 pages. Of course you can do more than that. So that's what my information looks like, what I expected it to present to me, but of course that is not going to be possible because this information is inside my computer. It's not anywhere on the cloud, so you cannot get access to it. So that's what all other LLM, like I showed you in my slide, that I tried ChatGPT, I tried Gemini, I tried Liquid AI, they all could not give me any answer. They were just hallucinating. So now let me take you to a finished product of what we will be building, what it looks like. This is what the reg system looks like. All right, this is what it looks like. So let's go to the playground and ask that same question that I asked, and let's see what the response is going to be. So I'm going to ask it again. When is the computerized access group event happening? Right, very specific. It says the computerized access group event, the teenagers teens, the Teens Tech Summit 2025 is happening from December 2021 to 25th, 2005, which is accurate according to what I showed to you. Is happening from December 2025, and this is the name, just exactly. So this is what we are building, and then let's get into building it right away. So when you successfully open up your LangFlow after you've downloaded it, the process to downloading it, after you've downloaded it, you will have a space like this, and then you can click on new flow. So because we want to do the reg, which is Retrieval-Augmented Generation, we are going to click on this one since we already have a sample for us. We'll click here like this, and then it opens up like this. Alright, this is how it opens up. So if you check down, in fact the instruction have been, that is why LangFlow is just awesome. They've given you a workflow that is easy to use, and a readme file. Once you follow the readme, it says load your data into the vector database with the load data flow, then use your data as chat context with the retrieval flow, add your APIs, and then run. So quick start, number one, run the load data flow, then run the retrieval flow. As simple as that. So this is the load data flow. They've made work easy for us. LangFlow, kudos to you guys, you made work easy for us. So what you need to do here, for like I showed you in my quick example of what a natural LLM looks like, and I told you that I don't have an API key, an open API key, so I'm going to delete this and use another open API key. Now this is where I need to talk about a few things. For this embedding, since I'm using Grok, the embedding I'll be using for Grok is going to be something called PyCon. So what you need to do is go to PyCon's website, and then you can, it's a simple process for you to just create your own informations, like get an API key, and when you have Python, this is what you should have, something empty like this. I'm using my global variables because I have saved in some variables in my global. So if I come here, you should be able to see from my setting all my global variables. So these are my global variables. This one is for my Grok API, this one is for my Python, and then this one is my index, which is something we are going to be using for the embedded. Okay, so let's go back to the flow and then let's get some work done. So basically, since I've used mine before, it's there. I've connected my Python, and then I need to connect my Python to. So one of the things that you need to do when you're here is to ensure that you run all this carefully. Run the first one. Okay, currently I don't have a file there, so I'm going to get an error. Definitely, you see, there is no file in process, so dismiss that. Now you load in your file, that is the document from which you want it to read from. I already have uploaded it before, so I'll just click it. For you, you can easily do a drag and drop or click to select the file. So I select this file, my document loads properly, and then I'll run this again, run these components. You can run individual components to be sure that all your components are working effectively. So I'll run this component like this, and then yes, the flow was built successfully, so that one is working. Let me see the next component I need to run. Let me run my split text component and see if it is working. Also, it's also working fine. Finally, let me my Python component, which is the component for the embedded, let me run it to see if it is working. It's also working fine, so I'm going to connect it to this like so. I'm connecting it to my abstract DB. Now abstract DB is another beautiful database that was made by IBM.
So if you go to abstract DB, you'll be able to create your database. All right, so I already have created my database, and that's why I have a token that I add it to my global variable, then I put it here. How do you add things to global variables? You click on this global variable like this, then you say add new variables. When you click on add new variables, then you put the name, the value usually will be the key. You put in the key, then you select the field that you want this variable to work in. Usually it's supposed to be selected. For me, already I have my abstract DB. So now for my database, if you have created your database, here once you click the option here, it synchronizes with your LangFlow. As long as you have your data on, then you can see the name of my database, and then let me open it like this for you to see. Beautiful. And after you create your database, the next thing you will be expected to create is a collection. All right, you create a collection, and because you will need all those in this place. So once I click on the database, because I told you it synchronizes immediately, you will see this is the only database I have there, and then you wait for the database to load. Once it finishes loading, it's going to give us a point where we can put in our collection. We're waiting for it to load.
right, so collection, and then once you click on collection, it's going to show you all the collections that you have in that your database. So the synchronization is just powerful. In fact, it makes work so easy for you. So this is the one I have created. I'm using a Navida. So finally, let me run this component to be sure all is fine. This is run correctly and all is working well. The next thing I need to do now is to come to, because we were told that after we were done, then you can go to run the retriever. So let's now go to the Retrieval-Flow. In a Retrieval-Flow, we have a question we want to ask, and I would have to tweak this question so that it looks exactly like what I'm looking for. What is the document about? Okay, that makes some sense. Let's leave it like that. What is the document about? Then you see this embedded. Of course, we are not going to be using this embedded because I don't have OpenAI API key, so I'm going to delete it like so, and I will just duplicate this one. That's another beautiful thing that's happening. Click on this. Let me make that large for us to see. So to duplicate, you click on these 3 dots, then duplicate like so. Then you can just drag and make it smaller, and then drag and drop. That's the beautiful thing about LangFlow, just dragging and dropping things. Who can ever imagine that you build AI panels or AI kits with these simple moves? Okay, so it's already whatever we want is already there, and then this is supposed to be connected to this like so. And what else? All right, back to abstract database. You need to select this again, select database, and wait for it to load so you can select collection, and then we can then move on. So we're waiting for it. So you see, it's basically very easy, just dragging things and dropping things. Now the things that you don't have, there are substitutes for them. Like I don't have OpenAI API key, there are substitutes I'm currently using PyCon, and then for the LMM I'm going to be using Grok. Grok offers a free API key for us to use. So I'll click here and then click my database, and this is beautiful. Now this portion, which is like the main guy, so I'm going to delete this and I'm going to call in Grok, Grok, and drag and drop. You see that? Just position so that all things look beautiful. Connect this to this, connect this to this. The flow is already there. Again, LangFlow makes things flow. Can you beat that? Okay, so now I already have, like I showed you from my settings and from my variables, I already have my API for, so that is it. And then the next thing is my chat input. Now for this chat input, we are set like so, but don't forget, I like to just run my component one by one. Flow successful, run this component. Flow successful, run this component. Let's see. Flow successful, run this component. Successful. Now let's go to the playground and see. So what is this document about? Now it gives us what the document about. This document appears to be about a call for volunteer to support the Computerized Access Group Summit, which focuses on empowering teenagers through technology, specifically in areas so it picks an answer from this call to volunteer, and then let's ask questions like, who are the organizers of this program? So let's do that. Who are the organizers of this program?
just as we expected. The organizers of the program, Joel, Maxwell, Moses, Amaka, just like we have in our document, like so. Joel, Maxwell, Moses, Amaka, Tunde, and Fatima Bello. You can see that this is a working. So let's what are the days for this program and where is it happening? So our last test and then we are done. So the Teens Tech Summit 2025 is happening from December 21st to 25th, and the location is in Benin City. Let's see if that is correct, whether it is hallucinating or not. Its location, Benin City, correct. So you see, this is basically what it means when we say RAG system, Retrieval-Augmented Generation, and this is how simple it is to build a Retrieval-Augmented Generation using LangFlow. Simple, straightforward, drag and drop. The flow is flowing. Thank you. I hope this tutorial made some sense, and then subsequent time I will come up with other tutorials using LangFlow to solve some of our problems. Thank you again for watching. God bless you. Bye.